Hey friends, welcome back to the Renewed Homestead. I'm Ben and I am out here at the new barn build. Well, new-ish. I mean, this has been here for over a year now. The materials have, and we've worked on it off and on, and things priorities shift, and as animals get out or whatever needs to happen, and storms happen. And as you saw in one of our previous videos, we had some volunteers come out. We were able to get these great big posts back up. Huge blessing, and we're still very, very grateful and always will be. And while they were out, we got some of the side boards, support boards. There's a term for it, it'll come to me. But while they were out here, we were actually ready to start putting the rafters on the sides, not the middle because it's much higher, but the sides. And we got it up there and realized the trusses are 3 inches too long. Now that doesn't seem like a big deal, but when you're sitting on top of a 6 by 6 inch post, and this company advised us, well, you ought to just cut the post. You're cutting 3 inches out of a 6 inch post. No. So I talked to my buddy Morris, and he took a look at it, and he's like, well, we'll cut it, we can weld it. And so he was able to come over yesterday. I've had his metal bandsaw, and I'm going to take you over and show you doing that. But let me show you here. This is what we got when we got this thing up here. Got the truss up at the top over on the other side. It was too long, so I rigged it up here just so it could be, so I can hang it up and actually look at it. And I'm gonna bring you around here. So what I'm gonna do is lift this up. And these are very heavy. So when that edge is flush with the board, like it'll be up there, I'll show you what it looks like over here and what we're gonna do. So I'm gonna move you around over here. So you can see when the other end is flush over there, that's how far, that's all the wood we would have left if we did what they were suggesting, cutting down on the board and cutting it out like a little bench. Because this part right here is where the top of the beam, the top of the post is gonna sit. And then, I don't know if you can see the holes, but we will put 3 bolts through this way, all the way through the metal, all the way through the boards. Yeah, it's gonna be some drilling, but that's gonna give it the strength. So we are going to come in here, and I'll show you over there. Yeah, I'm just going to take you over there and show you, because if I try to show you here, I don't know if you can see it. But we're going to cut this and re-weld it. So let's go over to the pile, which for a long time now has almost seemed like scrap metal. It's not. We need to get this done. All right, so what you can see right here, this is where the metal bracket comes down, and there's a weld right here. So we're going to cut through, and you can see this one's already been cut on this side, and we're going to cut another notch and actually take out that weld, because the way this is angled in, we need to be able to get this piece in there just a little bit better, and then we'll come back and weld it. And then on this side, we're going to cut over just a couple of inches, and once this is cut, it will come off like this. Now let me show you, I'll show you the piece below it, because then this whole piece will be able to just be scooted in and re-welded. Ooh, that's an awful noise. You should leave that in there, Denise. So now, I know I'm turning it around on you, but this angle will go right in here. And this will go over here, and we'll just overlap this the 3 inches that we need. There we go. Now we're going to fit on top of those posts right here. We'll come back and weld here and along here, and a couple of welds over here, and we should be good to go. There are 10 of these that are wrong, so I've got to cut those up. And when we had talked about it, we had talked about trying to cut through the weld. And I was talking to Morris, and I said, well, couldn't we just cut it off and slide it in? And he's like, well, then you're going to be over, 1/8 of an inch. And I said, is that a problem? He's like, well, no, actually it's not. You're right. So we're a lot less work. We basically make 1, 2, 3 cuts, and then we're ready to weld. And he's got a great big welder, with a big pole behind. I have done that much welding in my life in shop class in 7th grade. So he's going to show me how to do it, and we'll bring you along for that. But anyway, I've got to fire up the generator to do these cuts. You won't be able to hear me, so Denise will be dubbing over some music for us while I cut a couple more. I'm really hoping, with any luck, I'll be able to get these done before we go up to the hay bank up in Spruce Pine today. So let's get to it. Stop talking and get busy. Right, Belle? She's such a good girl. Now, I did have to run over to the candy store over in Johnson City yesterday, also known as Harbor Freight, and get another couple more saw blades just to make sure I had enough on hand in case I broke one or two or three. So, get these fit on here and get going. All right, one thing I forgot, Morris had suggested, said if you've got some chainsaw bar oil and put on here, it will help it cut better and make your blade last longer. For the purpose of this video, I'm going to go ahead and cut this. Squealing really bad. But after I get this one cut, then I'm going to go get that bar oil and for the rest of them. But anyway, let's get this cut and move on. Quick and easy. Yes, we will have sharp edges on here. And yes, before you weld, you've got to get the paint off. I've got Jake's angle grinder, and I got some new grinding wheels and cutting wheels, grinding wheels. We'll get it cleaned up. But anyway, that was actually a lot quicker. The blade that was on there was very well used. So, all right, I'm going to run down to the shop and get some bar oil, and I'll be right back. All right, generic bar oil for your chainsaw, and we're going to try that. But I guess I should step back just a little bit. Some of you are out there going, well, you're saying the trusses were sent wrong. Well, maybe you put the post in the wrong spot. No, we even by in their own words from the company we bought this from, said, yeah, our installation instructions aren't very good. And we had an engineer that was out here after the storm and the volunteers were out here. He was an engineer and he looked at the plans and he said, no, your posts are exactly where they should be, which I didn't question. Morris, who helped with this, also, he's been doing this for a lot of years, and he knows what he's doing. So when he said, put the concrete in and everything measured out, leveled, perfect, we knew they were in the right spot, but we did get confirmation from an engineer that the posts are in the right spot. These are wrong. So we're cutting them. I am going to set you guys back a little bit here. I'm going to move the trusses out of the way that have been cut. And I got to make sure I keep the right pieces with the right ones, just in case there is any difference, save myself some headache down the road. And then we'll get ready and cut the next ones. Let's do this. All right, well, there we have it. 9 over there, 1 still on top. We will have to grind off those corners before we go to weld it, and I will bring you along when we do that. I'll let Morris know that we've got these cut. I think I've got one more cut on there. I realized that I need to cut that 3 inches on the angled piece. I know that doesn't make sense to you, so when we slide it in, it doesn't overlap out. I'm sure I will need to cut that. I've got to get ready to volunteer at the hay bank, and so I'm going to call it good, get everything covered up because we're supposed to get rain here in a couple of days, just in case I don't get back. But anyway, well, hopefully it was entertaining. I don't know if it was any kind of educational for you, but I haven't done much metal work in my life, so it's all new to me. So as always, I like to bring you along. Anyway, it is spring, of course. Things are starting to green up and getting the animals moved quickly, and you need a hori-hori knife. So get over to renewedhomestead.com/shop. Get a hori-hori knife. We do have comfrey root available now, so get those orders in. Anyway, all right, I'm out of here. You guys take care. God bless. We'll see you on the next video. Bye, everybody.
Make it so.